It's an ambush.
Oh my God, it's an ambush!
It's an ambush!
Of course!
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to an ambush stream on a Saturday night. No, I don't have a headache. No, the neighbors haven't kept me awake. It's just summertime. What happens in summertime? Well, let me tell you what happens in summertime. In summertime, it gets really hot sometimes. And my apartment building has insulation from the 1970s, which means it basically absorbs heat and radiates it back into the apartments. And this causes much difficulty in getting to sleep at night when this happens. And so I end up waking up the next day not great. And I ultimately end up probably taking a nap somewhere midday, and which is what happened today. Consequently, I am not tired or sleepy at the time I would usually be tired and sleepy. And thus, here I am, rock you like a hurricane. A couple other things. First and foremost, I have a fan going on in the background. I think the noise cancellation on this thing is taking care of it, but I can't tell myself. If it is bothering you, if you can hear it, let me know, and I will suffer for my art and turn off the fan. Also, I found out, unbeknownst to me, that I had the settings on my microphone volume through StreamYard at a relatively low setting. So I turned it up by about 20%, not to overdo it. If I'm too loud, on the flip side of things, let me know. But hopefully things are fine. But I'm always paranoid about my sound quality and things, so, advise me as I go. Before I get into tonight's subject matter, which those of you that attended the 4th of July TED Excellence, you might already recognize our friend on the screen. Oh, but have I got more for you? And a revelation I didn't know I would have until after I had it. I guess that's what makes it a revelation. Either way, who's joining me tonight? Funtime Bats, good evening. Kiro Soldier, good evening. Noah Asensio, good evening. Cynic, good evening. A Scanner Daphne, good evening. Shio Gorath, good evening to you. Who else is here? Kay Scholl, good evening. Keldrig, good evening to you. Antler the Mad, good evening. Angelverse, hello. John Trioxin, hello to you. Miranda Stone, oh my God, it's Miranda. Do you know who Miranda Stone is? Do you know who Miranda Stone is? Well, let me tell you, she is Queen of the Discord. Yes, that is Miranda Stone. Hello, Miranda Stone. I better put this up too for the heck of it. Why not? All right. Anybody else that I missed otherwise? I don't think so. I think I got everybody I see. If I missed you, if you're lurking, if you're in the future, good evening. And if I catch you later, I will say hello. Is it getting longer? I guess in this case, that's literally what she said. Either way. Theater Winch Ginger. Good evening. I tried sleeping, but insomnia won. Dang it. Oh, you have my sympathies. I know how that can be. I mean, in that case, my only hope is that I can somehow lull you back to sleep. So I guess I'd feel all right if I was boring in that instance. Let's see. Scanner Daphne, Scriber time, and the living is heated. Topics are spicy and the banter is high. One of these days, they're going to answer a question. Hush, little chatters, and don't you cry. Well, golly gee whiz. Poetry on the fly. Thank you so much, Scanner Daphne. Also, who was it that mentioned... it was you. You're talking about optical migraines. I've had an optical migraine before. It was bizarre. I occasionally get that little, floaty, sparkly, shimmery thing in my vision, and it just drives me nuts for a little while, and it goes away. But they are few and far between. It's the really painful, knock me down for half a day kind of migraines that I get. More often now than in the past. My mother and my sister would suffer from them frequently. And I might have one once every 3 months or something. Now it's maybe once or twice a month, depending. So I don't know if I'm just, breaking down in my old age or something, but Red Feather 1, good evening to you. And holy cats, Derek LaRue, what are you doing up at this hour? I guess I should ask the same question to myself. Thank you, Derek, as always, for your continued support and generosity. Really appreciate it. And I think I saw one earlier. Yes, Kiro Soldier, apologies. That one got by me. Thank you so much for the number one Dogcat Fox. Oh, Dogcat Fox.
Wow, wow, wow.
Oh, there's a froggy Dogcat Fox. Thank you, Kiro Soldier, and thank you, Derek LaRue. Hope you guys are both having a good evening. And hope you enjoy the show. All right, so, yes, those of you that attended the TED Excellence for 4th of July may recognize our friend on the screen here. So, inclusology. There was something that I didn't... Wait, what is this? What's this? It's a tailed feature. A tailed feature.
Well.
Oh my God! It's a, I don't know what else to say.
cool.
Oh my God! Tailed features here, everybody. Hey, Tailed, you want to come on? Let me know. Be glad to have you. I hope you're doing well. Keeverdam, holy cats, Keeverdam, thank you so much. I'm here too. Hope your migraine goes. No, I don't have a migraine. No, let me clarify. I don't have a migraine. No. I was talking about migraines. I am not in the course of suffering from a migraine. Let me just make that clear. But thank you, Keeverdam, very much. It's very generous of you. No. This is not a migraine stream. This is not a neighbors are being noisy stream. It was really, really hot last night stream where I didn't get much sleep. And then I napped earlier today and I'm just awake and I'm bored and lonely. And so I needed something to do. Sorry, this is why I'm here. But thank you so much. And I appreciate everybody's sympathies for, sure, he comes up to occasionally when I'm in pain. Sabian 187, good evening. And yeah, but Tailed, if you're here, and if you are bored or able, I mean, maybe Scotland time means you're, relaxing or something, but pardon me while I get a sip of drink. Would love to, but up early preparing for a hike. Are you going to be filming for another hiking excursion for Scottish Feature? Or just for the heck of it? And where will you be hiking to, if you don't mind saying? I'd be curious to know. Unfair Ophelia, good evening to you too. Boy, oh boy, everybody's showing up here. Keeverdam, I'm dealing with fireworks and other crap, LOL. Oh, is people still lighting off their supplies? I suppose they would. Anyway, yeah, so inclusology sounds like a religion, pretty much is, but I discovered why this popped up in my feed, as it were, the other day. I was kind of confused. I was like, I've never heard of this before. Why is this suddenly here on my YouTube page? Well, amazingly enough, it belongs to a channel I subscribed to just for the proverbial shits and giggles a couple of years ago, except they changed their name and their look a couple of times. You may or may not remember a channel called Diversity. Yes, Diversity, with a lady who was a doctor of something. I did a couple of scripted videos with her and some other not scripted videos with that organization in the past. Well, apparently they've changed their name to Inclusology. And at least within the last week or so, they've released a flurry of short informational videos on correct language. And by correct language, I mean ridiculous, thought control language. But we did one as a fun little extra on Thursday night stream. But I found 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. All in all, if I put them back to back, they constitute about 15 minutes, 20 minutes worth of information. So collectively, your basic TEDx talk kind of thing. So let's see. Oh, Tail Feature says, I hope so. Going up Glenn Clova and Corey Fee. And I probably mispronounced those by doing it my Yankee phonetic style. But I hope you have a good trip and safe walk. And I hope you get some good footage. Yes, check out Tailed Feature on YouTube and Scottish Feature, his alternate channel. He does a weekly show called Regional Variations, where he talks to several different people with competing accents about what's going on in the UK and elsewise. And boy, oh boy, was there a lot to talk about this past week with the elections. And he assures me I pronounced them fine. But of course, Tailed is very protective of my ego when it comes to saying words from his native land. So thank you, Tailed. Hope you have a good trip. Zero, the Pondu Hero 909. Will there still be a Sunday stream? Yeah, no, there's still a stream tomorrow morning. Oh yeah, no, hell or high water, I'll be there. because I haven't really paid attention myself in focus to the border situation in several months now. But I thought it was time for a refresher course on exactly what's happening down there. So we'll be doing that tomorrow morning regardless. But anyway, let's get into these, shall we? So our first one here, let me make sure I have this set up correctly. No, not that one. This one. Let's see. This one is called "That is Offensive. Best Inclusive Practices to Stop, what was it? Sexually discriminatory something. Stop sexist language, pardon me. The titles are in different places. So we're going to learn how to stop sexist language. Are you guys ready? I don't know if I am, but if you are, let's get going.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Inclusology's e-learning platform.
Ah, yes, the e-learning platform. I think this is something that people pay to have piped into their businesses or something. I'm not really sure. And again, I tried to boost the sound, but it's a little whispery. Hopefully you can hear it. If you can't hear it, or if it's too faint or something, just let me know.
My name is Danny.
Hi, Danny.
And my pronouns are she and her.
Well, mine are sir and master.
And I identify as a Black woman.
Yeah, I am a meat popsicle.
And I'm back to discuss the best inclusive language practice.
That was an accidental pause on my part, pardon me. It happens to men my age sometimes. Let me back up a little bit.
Best inclusive language practices to address sexist language.
I love sexist language. Oh, wait, no, I don't. I don't love sex. No, I'm a good person.
Meaning, I'm bringing you even more examples of what to say and what not to say when speaking, writing, signing, or communicating.
All of which would fall under that last one, but I guess, thoroughness is an admirable trait. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I didn't pop out the chat from YouTube so I can keep an eye on that at the same time I'm watching this. Let me do that real quick. I thought I had. Apparently, I did not. So I'll pop that out over here. There we go. Or I closed it accidentally or something. I'm not sure. I had it open before. Sorry, technical difficulties. Are we good now? Oh, I've got two open. Okay. I had it there. I thought I didn't, but now I do. It's been fixed. Sorry.
That way we respect everyone's identity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it?
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get to it.
Oh, boy. I wasn't scared this time by that sound effect.
First up, let's discuss the term manpower.
Manpower.
Or man hours.
Well, you know what man used to stand for, right? Remember all those Disney movies where, like, all the animals in the forest were looking around and they'd hear a noise or something, look up and they go, man. They weren't talking in the singular. They're talking in the collective, because man in the olden speak just meant people. It didn't really differentiate on the basis of gender. But I guess times do change.
We need to stop saying that term.
Yeah.
The reason this term is offensive is due to it referring to one gender.
Well, if you look at it in a modern context, certainly, but that's not really where the term comes from or how it was used classically. But, okay, sure, whatever. Take offense where you can find it.
The male gender, working hours.
The male gender, yes, working hours, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't, never mind.
Gender is not binary.
Pardon me, say that one again. I know I shouldn't be surprised, but all the same, whenever I hear that, it just causes a little catch to occur in my brain.
Gender is not binary, and hours don't discriminate. As a woman, I also work hours. Oh,
you do? Wow. All right, let's see. So what shall we say is going to be the correct term? Just work hours, perhaps, or person's hours, people hours, labor hours.
A non-gender binary person might be working hours.
A non-gender binary person may be working hours, I suppose. Human hours. Human hours? If you say it fast enough, it almost sounds like some kind of fancy last name. Hello, my name is Claudia Human Hours.
That term is sexist and needs more inclusive meaning.
Okay.
So instead of saying those terms,
Mhm.
try more inclusive terms like work hours.
Oh, that's the first thing I said. Just work hours. Just say work hours. That's all you have to say. I'll do it. The mild psychic moment, but I mean, there are only so many options, I suppose.
Make sense?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
Next up is a term in the same category.
Oh, okay.
Go-to guy, or even jack of all trades.
Oh, what about My Girl Friday?
Which means the person you go to for help is of the masculine identity only.
Oh, right. Okay. Let's see. So what would be a neutral term that still exemplifies that concept? I know. A Swiss Army knife. You get it? Neutral term. Anyway.
I'm not going to repeat what I just said about manpower.
You're not going to repeat what you just said about manpower? Oh, dang it. I was hoping for an encore. Do you want more? Oh, anyway.
Because this also falls into the category of sexist language.
Okay, so human of all trades, person of all trades. How about no, not all trades. That'd be a subject matter expert would not be a jack of all trades. No, I mean, you could call it SME. Of course, it refers, or at least, by sound, it refers to a male character from Peter Pan, but,
Instead, just say go-to person.
Go-to person, right.
Or problem solver.
Right,
okay,
right.
y'all?
Okay, y'all.
Oh, and in the same context,
Mm-hmm.
can we please stop saying you guys and just say you all?
I guess we could, except, how would we do our sloth impressions? Or, refer back to the electric company. What do we do then? Take all the joy out of life?
It's not offensive and way more inclusive.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which should be the goal of companies working to build an inclusive culture.
I see. Assassin the Great, yes, you are correct. However, we're not using a bingo card. This is just playing around. Bingo cards are for TEDx's. This is not a TEDx. But you are correct. Yes. Condescension, mind reading assumes motives, etc. And also, good evening, Assassin the Great. Also, good evening, Bridget. Spyro Girl, good evening. I thought I saw somebody else up here. I thought I saw a putty tat. Or if I didn't see a putty tat, I saw a Urcule de Stefano, which isn't anywhere near a putty tat, but I mean, anyway, I don't have a comeback for that one.
Another term
Uh-huh.
that is one we discussed to address ableism.
Okay.
Some of us have used this term.
Let's see. Ableism. Handyman. Handyman?
Often it is sanity check.
Oh, okay. Yeah, all right. Sanity check. Wait. This is supposed to be about sexist language. Now you're throwing in ableist language? Is that like a bonus or something? Sanity check. Uh-huh.
This provides a meaning that is unsympathetic to people who are dealing with mental health challenges and may need some additional support.
A sanity check, in fact, is a pause to try to make sure that everything is in its place and everything is ready to go. It's actually meant to be a sort of a salve to things being in disorder. It's not offensive. Anyway.
Instead, try saying confidence check.
Confidence check. Well, what about those that lack confidence? I mean, if I don't have any self-confidence and somebody says, it's time for a confidence check, I'm going to feel marginalized. Like, what do I do then? Or a coherent check? Oh, Lord, don't say that to Joe Biden.
Or a coherent check.
Uh-huh.
A little consideration can go a long way. Okay.
Okay.
Y'all got it?
Boy, do I have it.
If not, watch this video again.
Oh, I never will.
Or go back to the dashboard and click on part 2 of this series. Hopefully this has been a helpful video for you all. And last but not least, use Inclusology's platform to measure equity and inclusion in your workplace through the lens of our community.
Sure. I look forward to it. What happened to the original lady that hosted this? It was I'm reaching back. I didn't watch the videos. Yeah, it was Diverse City, and it was like Dr. C. Like her last name, I think, started with a C or a G or something, and she said like it's Dr. C or what? I don't remember. It's very vague now. I don't think this is her though. I don't think this is her. Yeah.
I hope this has been helpful.
Sure.
Continue to work on becoming more inclusive in your workspace. And if you need more tips, there are more videos to guide you through this process.
Yes, there are. We're going to look at about 4 more in the upcoming moments.
Once again, I'm Danny.
Hi, Danny.
And it's been real, y'all.
Yeah, y'all. Okay. No, no, we're not doing that again. Yeah. Okay, well, there you go. There's our first one with the sexist and ableist language. You guys feel educated? I feel educated. All right, so what's next on the docket here? Let's see. I got to move this one over. Here's how you say. Okay, hold on. Pardon me a second while I switch videos here. Here's how you. Yes. Okay. All right. So this one is called Here's How You Say It, Inclusive Language for the LGBTQIA plus community. Oh boy. All right. Are you guys ready for part 2? Also, Liesel7, good evening to you. Hope you're doing well. And I'll also look at let's see what we have here. Bridget says, okay, guys, I think I need a sanity check. Uh-oh. Well, now you've hurt someone's feelings. Or actually, no, you know what you did? Like Ron Burgundy, you made me read that, and now I've hurt somebody's feelings by proxy. And so I have to take the fall for your inducement. Dang it. Anyway. Point of personal privilege. Oh, by all means. What is your point? The floor is yours, Liesel. What do you want? I will wait with bated breath. While I'm waiting, let's all glorify Sinatra Says for a moment. There you go. A little Sinatra Says excitement. Liesel? I mean, maybe it's taking time to type out. I don't know. Miranda Stone. I had no idea you were a wingsuit enthusiast. Does Miranda Stone play like Far Cry? Or something? What? I must have missed something, obviously. My dream. Dream outfit of. Okay, I see. Okay, well, I'm going to assume that Liesel is taking her time to craft an amazing point of privilege. So I will wait and I will keep my eyes open. NPC 7 billion. Sinatra staying on top. That's right. Sinatra's always on top. Anyway. But yes, let's learn some inclusive, correct language for the LGBTQIA plus community. Are you guys ready? I know I am.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Inclusology's e-learning platform.
Okay, yes. I really wonder if this is like something you download onto your desktop or kind of like a Slack add-on or something. Lisa says, I was assuming this was the topic. Oh, personal privilege? Well, I mean, after a fashion it is, because someone has to tell someone else how to correctly speak around them or about certain subjects, I suppose. So anyway, yes, your e-learning platform.
My name is Ange, and my pronouns are they, them.
Hi, Ange.
Identify as non-binary.
Mm-hmm.
Today I'm going to be facilitating a video about inclusive language for the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay, so there's certain ways I have to talk around people within a very numerous categoried demographics panoply. Okay. Let's see. What are we going to have? We're going to have, well, I assume we're going to have to talk about pronouns. I assume we're going to have to talk about dead names. What else? When talking about significant others or spouses, maybe not assuming that someone you're talking to is paired up with the opposite sex, something like that. Those are my guesses.
To begin, we're going to start with inclusive pronouns.
Hey, pronouns. All right. Well, hey, it's not exactly a psychic moment. It's just an educated guess, but all the same, I like playing. All right. So pronouns.
But before that, I'm going to discuss misgendering.
Oh, misgendering. All right. Misgendering. Okay.
Misgendering is when you refer to a person using language that does not align with their gender or their pronouns.
What if all observable evidence tells me that they are the gender to which I refer to them? I mean, like if I don't know somebody, I've told this story before. I've had at least two individuals in my life, one relationship-wise more significant than the other, who have transitioned. There was someone in our social group many years ago, and for the sake of privacy, I knew him as John. I was introduced to him as John. I knew him for better part of 2 years as John. And then one day, from our usual gatherings and outings and stuff, John just kind of didn't show up for a while. And then a few months later, John came back and now was Jane and had physically changed his appearance into more feminine. And asked politely, it was the olden days, I suppose, when manners still mattered, that he would now like to be referred to as Jane. And I didn't have any reason to, it wasn't a matter of I suddenly had to change my belief system that this was a man standing in front of me. But, to me, it was effectively no different than if somebody said, hey, I'm going by this name now or that name. I had another friend who had the last name. Well, his last name was Smith. And then one day he shows up and says, and there were more than one guy in the group named Adam, right? And so we referred to each of these guys by their last names to differentiate. And this just became common practice. And so one day he shows up and says, hey, guys, so I've legally changed my last name because that last name belongs to my father, and my father is a monster, and I don't want to be associated with him. So my new last name is, Jones. And we were like, oh, well, you got it. And so from then on, when everybody referred to that Adam, we said Jones instead of Smith, his previous name. If someone comes up and says, this is just how it is and this is how I'll be referred to, and I have a relationship with them, whether it's friendly or otherwise, I don't see any problem with it. It's like, okay, fine. I don't suddenly believe that, reality has changed and that he was never a Smith or that Jane was never John. But at the same time, it's like, well, if I choose not to, you can take offense to that, but it doesn't change the reality of anything. And if I refer to somebody in the quote unquote wrong gender pronouns when they're not around, what happens? Anyway, just an aside.
When someone is misgendered, they might feel disrespected, invalidated, dismissed, alienated, or dysphoric. They
could. And their feelings are their responsibility. If they want to think of me as a jerkwad for doing so, depending on the circumstances, I guess someone will just have to survive.
Or oftentimes all of the above.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a quick lesson on pronouns.
Okay.
Examples of pronouns include the following.
Oh, well, he, him, she, hers, they, theirs, ze, zim, master, sir, Lord, majesty. We could go on.
She, her.
Yes.
A pronoun that is used to describe feminine identities and can be used, for example, as she wrote that book herself. Those ideas are hers. I like both of her ideas.
Also refers to women.
He, him. A pronoun that is used to describe masculine identities. It can be used, for example, to describe he wrote that book himself. Those ideas are his. I like both of his ideas. They, them.
Yes.
A non-gender binary pronoun. They
Well, I guess, yes. It can also be used in regular parlance otherwise.
can be used, for example, as they wrote that book themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Those ideas are theirs.
Themselves. They wrote that book themselves, not themself.
I like both of their ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Zer. A pronoun that is used to describe non-gender identities.
Nobody uses that crap. And anybody who does is just being pretentious and narcissistic. I mean, not that this isn't already halfway there anyway, but that one in particular, yeah.
And can be used, for example, to describe Z wrote that book herself. Those ideas are Zer's.
Uh-huh.
I like both of Zer's ideas.
And anybody who talks like that sounds ridiculous.
No pronouns.
No pronouns. You know, I don't know I've ever heard somebody propose a no pronoun situation. Okay, how would I refer to somebody in the absence of pronouns?
This is when a person requests for you to only use their name. For example, for someone whose name is Lan, Lan wrote that book. Those ideas are Lan's. I like both of Lan's ideas.
Well, you know what? That is a safe option no matter what, isn't it? There you go. Just go with that one. If you want to avoid all sorts of confusion, all sorts of nonsense, all sorts of stress, if you want to actually refer to someone's actual identity, go with that one. It's probably the safest bet, isn't it?
Next, let's discuss questions that you need to stop asking.
Oh, okay. What's your real name? Where are you really from? Have you had surgery yet?
Examples of what not to ask include the following.
Okay.
Don't ask.
Uh-huh.
What was your name before you went by?
Hey, dead naming. I mean, I knew it was good. Yeah, don't ask, what was your name? You know, if you say, like, I go by this name now, and somebody says, oh, what was your name before? Their curiosity is obviously an insult. Okay.
Don't ask. Why do you dress like that?
Why not?
Don't ask. So, have you had surgery yet?
I was just knocking them out of the park. Well, if you say you're trans, it's not a irrelevant question, is it?
Hopefully this has been a helpful video for you all. And last but not least, use Inclusology's platform to measure equity and inclusion in your workplace.
Yeah, okay. Close out with the same spiel as everything else. Okay. All right, well, there you go. I guess that wasn't all that surprising. Nothing I haven't really heard before. Okay. Let's see. Theater Wench Ginger. If we just use the person's name, then pronouns become obsolete, do they not? Pretty much, because you're actually referring to that person by their actual identity, and there's no clarification needed. And that's not an uncommon way to refer to people when they're not around. But, geez, all right. Let's see. Standard athlete. It's really bothering me that that image is crooked. Oh, the painting up in the corner. Yeah, I'm assuming it is crooked or just the angle of the wall is compared to the I don't know. But yeah, it's a little off kilter. But maybe that's appropriate. Maybe that's appropriate. Miranda Stone liked the Candle Lady better. Well, we've got some other characters coming up. At least how many more? I got 2 more. I think I have. Well, here I'll do a 2-parter here with our friend Ang or Ange. Pardon me, Ange, which I'm sure either means Angie or Angus or neither. So let's do that one next, just to keep some continuity here. Oh, there we go. All right. This one is called, Do You Really Have My Back? Tips for Allies and Accomplices. I'm sure we're not talking about criminal activity. I'm sure we're not. But then you never know. You never know. No, please, no more. No. This is. I'm sorry, Scanner Daffley. You're just going to have to suffer through with me and the rest of us, or you can, take it. Nobody's holding you here. I'm sure you have better things to do. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I won't feel sad. My confidence. My confidence. Anyway, confidence check.
What's up, everyone?
Hey.
Welcome back to Inclusology's e-learning platform.
Well, it feels like it was just seconds ago that we were talking.
My name is Ange, and my pronouns are they, them, theirs.
Well, hi again, Ange.
I identify as non-binary.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure you do.
Today, I'm going to be facilitating a video about tips for allies and accomplices of the LGBTQ plus community.
Oh, and then the title changes to Trans Inclusivity for Allies. Well, you see, trans is only one letter in the LGBTQIA plus community. But, okay.
I'm not going to waste any time, so let's get to it.
I appreciate the speed with which you take us to the information.
Here's a few tips for the workplace.
The workplace? Oh, okay. Well, why would I be inquiring of anybody in the workplace of their sexual proclivities?
You can't tell someone's gender or sexuality just by looking at them.
More often than not, you can. Unless somebody is presenting really good. It's fairly obvious 95% of the time. Or higher.
So please don't try.
Don't try? Uh-huh.
And don't make any assumptions. Instead, ask questions and be okay with someone telling you they don't feel comfortable answering those questions.
Then why ask them in the first place? And what does it matter in the workplace?
Next, if you're unsure which pronoun a person uses, ask them.
No, I'll just refer to them by their name. I don't inquire people of their pronouns. I assume, and I understand this may get me into trouble with some people, I assume most people operate on the same temporal plane of reason, logic, and tradition as everybody else. And if I suddenly get corrected by somebody, I'll probably avoid talking to them. But anyway.
Be comfortable with introducing yourself using your own pronouns. For example, my name is Ange, and I use the pronouns they, them, theirs.
I don't introduce myself with my pronouns. If somebody wants to call me, okay, and I know anything I'm going to say right now is going to follow me as a meme or something on here. If somebody wants to call me Moonmaster when I'm not around, or Broccoli Head, I don't care. If I'm not around, I mean, when I'm using someone's pronouns, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be referring to them when they're not in the same room. Okay? So it really doesn't matter to me. It really doesn't matter. It does not hurt my feelings. It's like, but okay.
How about you? It is not, I repeat, not okay to ask a transgender person what their real name is.
Oh, we already went over that. Also, you left a space out in between your comma and your I repeat. But I guess I'm just being nitpicky. Well, if somebody comes up to me and say, "Hi, I'm Jane, and I transitioned away from my previous gender," and I'm curious, like, "Oh, what was your birth name?" what happens then? What happens if I do that? What consequences will befall me for being curious about someone who has made it plain that they are not presenting themselves as they were originally?
Respect the name a transgender person is currently using.
I may, but my curiosity is not allowed.
If you happen to know the name someone was given at birth but no longer uses, don't share it without the person's explicit permission.
Why not?
Understand that there's a difference between coming out as lesbian, gay, or bisexual and coming out as transgender.
Well, I assume so, because they are different things, but so...
Coming out as trans is based on gender expression and gender identity.
Yeah.
Whereas coming out as being gay, lesbian, or bisexual defines your sexual orientation.
Yeah. So why is T included amongst LGB? Or even A?
Remember, coming out is a person's truth.
Sure. And that means what?
Also, be careful about confidentiality, disclosure, and outing. Some transgender people feel comfortable disclosing their gender history, while others do not.
Okay. So?
A transgender person's gender history is personal information, and it is up to them to share it with others.
Right, and if they choose to share it with others, then I guess it depends on the individual relationship you have with the person, and if they say they're keeping it in confidence or something, and okay.
Respect the terminology a transgender person uses to describe their identity.
I don't have to. What if I don't like the person? What if they're a lousy person to me? I don't have to respect someone else's chosen terminology for something if I don't care to.
Transgender people use many different terms to describe their experiences.
As a Star Wars fan, I use many different terms to describe my experiences that other people might not understand, but I'm not going to hold them to account for not using the same terms as I do. Or the weird terms that I learned and became accustomed to in the live action role-playing community, or in IRC back in the day. I still occasionally use the phrase K-line to describe someone being taken down or something terrible happening to someone or something or whatever. But if somebody says, "What's that?" I don't get offended when they're curious, or if they say something different. My feelings are my responsibility. My terminology may not be for everyone, but I don't require them to share it as well.
Respect these terms, such as transgender, transsexual, non-binary, and genderqueer.
I don't have to respect any of them. These are all presumably attached to individual people with their own character, morals, virtues, etc. So how about we talk about individuals and not just giving a free pass to anybody who says a magic word as though that somehow means or should mean something to me.
All terms used to describe a person.
No, they're used to describe elements of a person and not determinative elements of a person, other than maybe some, again, sexual proclivities or gender proclivities or something else. It's got nothing to do with who they are. Nothing.
If a person is not sure which terms best describe their gender, give them the time to figure it out for themselves, and don't tell them which term you think they should use.
Okay. How about anybody in such a state of confusion that I'm not personally attached to as a family member or friend? I just avoid outright until they've figured out their own situation.
Understand there is no right or wrong way to transition.
There actually is, if you mean what you're talking about. But either you are moving from one gender to the other in a demonstrable way, or you're not. if you're just a guy putting on a wig or a girl wearing pants, but okay, but if there is no right or wrong way, then there really is no definition to it. So anyway.
And that it is different for every person.
Mm-hmm.
Some transgender people access medical care like hormone replacement therapy and surgeries as part of their transition in order to align their bodies with their gender identity.
Mm-hmm.
Avoid backhanded compliments and helpful tips.
Isn't this entire video series a bunch of helpful tips? Okay, backhanded compliments. Like, you present so well for your chosen gender. Or something like that.
While you may intend to be supportive, comments like the following can be hurtful or even insulting.
Please tell me, you present so well.
I would have never known you were transgender. You look so pretty.
Close, but I won't give myself any credit for it.
You look just like a real man. She's so gorgeous, I would have never guessed she was transgender.
What? Okay, isn't that like a compliment? What do you mean it's backhanded? I mean, if someone is disclosed to you, or it's obvious that they are attempting to position themselves as the gender opposite their natural gender, wouldn't that be like a compliment? I mean, obviously this person has put a lot of work, conceivably, into aligning with their vision of themselves. So if you find out after the fact without knowing, and you say, wow, you know, so pretty, I would have never guessed. Like, isn't that, I don't know, but same time, I don't try to worry myself too much with the very specific and nitpicky feelings of others.
Last but not least, challenge anti-transgender remarks and jokes in public spaces.
All right. So if anybody says anything that I think someone else wouldn't like if they heard it, I have to intervene.
Including LGBTQ plus spaces.
Wait. LGBTQ plus spaces? What is it? In the workplace? Are we still talking about the workplace? Is there a special room for people under those categories at the workplace?
Okay, you got it?
Sure, I got it.
If not, watch this video again.
I don't know if I could stand the wisdom by watching it again.
Hopefully this has been a helpful video for you all. And last but not least, use Inclusology's platform to...
Yeah, you lose Inclusology's platform. Yeah, okay. Okay, well, there we go. Derek LaRue, the break room, perhaps. Now, Derek, hey, wait a second now. The break room? Are you implying that people under those categories are somehow not whole, Derek? That they are broken in some way? That the break room is where they... Derek LaRue, how Derek you? Sorry, that was low-hanging fruit. I'm lazy. What can I tell you? I'm a lazy man. Anyway, so we have two more, but this time we have two new speakers. All right, we got two left. I know. Don't get too excited, or maybe get excited. I don't know. Maybe we're breaking new ground. All right, this one is titled "You Might Be Xenophobic If You ... 5 Types of Workplace Xenophobia." You know, I think I may have been xenophobic in the workplace, you know, because I had my cubicle and it was my space. And if somebody snuck up behind me without me seeing or something, I'd like jump, you know, and I didn't like it when people did that. So I guess I was xenophobic in after fashion. I mean, they came into my borders without permission. Also, good evening, Lee Anthony Davis. Good evening to you. But yes, so you might be xenophobic. So let's go for our Inclusology Jeff Foxworthy, or whatever this is.
Hola, everybody.
Hello.
My name is Fernando Antonio Montejano. My pronouns are he, they, and...
I suppose that they are. Hello, Fernando. Can you hear the drums, Fernando? I'm not going to break out into any more ABBA right now, but I just couldn't help myself.
Pronouns are he, they, and I identify as Mexican American.
So you're dual citizenship? Or, like you identify? Okay. Also, Michael Sander. Good evening. Some xenophobia is useful. It all depends on the context. Let's see what our speaker has to say.
I'm here today on Inclusology's e-learning platform to discuss different forms of xenophobia in the workplace.
In the workplace, okay. Let's see, what kind of xenophobia in the workplace? Well, I suppose something like social cliques could be, redefined into a kind of social xenophobia. Like you're not part of the group, you're part of the out group, not the in group. If people coalesce around a shared belief system, in some way, shape, or form, that's been disclosed somehow in the workplace, and so they, again, it just comes down to, I'm assuming cliques. It's going to be cliques in the workplace, maybe even departments, right? Like sales never interacts much with IT, so you have these little tribes forming, that kind of thing.
Are y'all ready?
Oh, you all ready for this?
I know I am.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's discuss.
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Some examples of how xenophobia can present itself in the workplace include
Well, it is inclusology.
Microaggressions.
Microaggressions! Oh my God!
Xenophobic microaggressions are subtle comments that imply someone is an outsider.
Oh, like, I haven't seen you around here before. Are you new here? Or, hey, this is Jimmy. He's new to the team. I guess that isn't a microaggression so much. We define for us microaggressions, that whole part where oftentimes it can be unintended, right? Comments made without intention.
For example, a person might hear that someone has a different accent to them.
I suppose they might.
And immediately ask where they are from or compliment their English.
So a compliment of, if it seems obvious that English is not their first language, and they obviously worked to adopt English into their skill set, complimenting them on their English would be bad. If I went to a foreign country and I was practicing the local language and somebody said, your German is very good, I can't tell you how enraged I would become. I literally cannot tell you how enraged I would become. Decipher that one if you like. And also, where are you from? Being curious about someone, everyone, is a terrible, terrible thing. Being complimentary about their linguistic skills is a terrible, terrible thing. It really excludes someone when you start asking someone about themselves and when you start complimenting them on their abilities. It really pushes someone away. So don't do it. Just don't.
These might seem like innocent comments.
They are innocent comments. I mean, I guess I'll grant you this. I guess it depends on the inflection, right? Depends on the inflection of the question. I mean, there's a difference between, oh, where are you from originally? To where are you from? Or, your English is really good. To nice English, dude. Just what? God.
But they emphasize a person's otherness.
Or individuality or uniqueness. I guess it depends on how you decide to look at it, because that's really what microaggressions are about, aren't they?
Exclusion and discrimination.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about that.
Xenophobic discrimination can occur anywhere, from relationships to workplaces. For example, an employee might not hire or promote people who they view as foreign.
Yeah, like white men. Under DEI, who ends up being the xenophobic victim and a foreigner to the new order. Thank you. Yeah, come up there. There we go. Lee Anthony Davis. Thank you so much. I always like to support YouTubers, including yourself, being a fellow YouTuber myself. Oh, well, Lee Anthony Davis, tell us of your YouTube channel. By all means, if let's see, if one of the mods, or Lee, what's the name of your channel? And if one of the mods would then get the link, because I have too many windows and tabs open, if you put it in the chat for people to know. And thank you, Lee. I very much appreciate it. That's very nice of you. I do my best to support YouTubers I appreciate through sharing their stuff, promoting their wares such as they are. And in this case, I'll return in kind. So let us know about your YouTube channel. Where were we again? Hold on. Let me back up a little bit. Make sure I didn't miss something.
Or promote people who they view as foreign.
Oh, right. Yeah, we don't want to discriminate against hiring or promotion practices on the basis of what someone looks like or non-determinative factors of their makeup. Right. So you've just basically shot DEI in the foot, didn't you?
Due to implicit or explicit beliefs about how deserving, capable, or even trustworthy they are.
Yeah, I know. DEI is a terrible thing, isn't it?
Medical xenophobia. This occurs when medical professionals treat perceived outsiders differently.
Okay, sorry. Let me back up a little bit. But also, in the chat, thank you, Tier Alexander. There is the link to Lee's channel. And I'll tell you what, Lee. Just for the heck of it. I'm going to pin your channel to the top of the chat box. And let me see here real quick. See if I can get this to work. Lee Anthony Davis. Personal fun enjoyment, making videos and reviews. Quizzes, previews, and watch-alongs. I also have a website. I'm on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Podbean, Tango, Facebook, and where I have 70 pages on 100. Holy cats, Lee, you're all over the place. You're more prolific than I am social media-wise. Well, there you go. And am I stepping on Ranting Monkey's toes right now? See, he usually doesn't stream until like 2 a.m. or something. See, I had hoped that I wasn't going to like interfere with. Well, let's be honest. Like, nobody's watching him. Everybody's over here. All the cool people are. Anyway. All right. So what was that again? Professionals treat perceived outsiders differently. They might spend less time with the patients, view them as untrustworthy. Wait, patients? Wait, did I miss something? Sorry. Were you talking about like medical doctors? Wait, what? Foreign, due to implicit or explicit beliefs about how deserving, capable, or even trustworthy they are. Medical xenophobia. Oh, medical xenophobia. Okay, that didn't stay up long enough for me to see it. Medical xenophobia. This occurs when medical professionals treat perceived outsiders differently. They might spend less time with the patients, view them as untrustworthy, fail to get them a translator if they need one, or even report them to immigration authorities. Well, are they here illegally? This often means that people perceived as outsiders get lower quality medical care. It can be perceived that way. Do you have any proof of this? Delay access to medical care, or have a higher risk of stress-related health conditions. Well, stress is not within the purview of a medical professional to cure, per se. Journalistic xenophobia. Journalistic xenophobia. Okay, go ahead. This is when implicit or explicit xenophobia affects how journalists portray religious or cultural groups. Portray them how? Like, inaccurately or just not in a way that you prefer? For example, they can present religious minorities as part of a multicultural society or as outsiders. Well, what's the behavior and or demographic of said group? Do the cultural values of this particular demographic align with that of the majority and said country or place, both, on social mores, but also on legal grounds. I just asking, and I'm sure I'm offensive by saying so.
Or refugees as deserving of help or as a threat.
Refugees is a very convenient way to group a whole bunch of disparate people together.
Publications can also focus on negative stories about certain groups in order to sow fear and attract more readers or to sway public opinion.
Yes, especially if there's something detrimental taking place as a result of the actions of certain quote-unquote groups. You may not like it, but it might be a reflection of reality. But then I don't know what you're talking about because you're not being specific, but I can imagine.
Violence.
Xenophobic
violence can come from individuals or institutions.
Are you talking? You're talking about police and like border patrol, aren't you?
For example, in South Africa, xenophobic attacks against Congolese migrants are a serious problem. But the Human Rights Watch reports that some witnesses say that local authorities are complicit in this too.
Oh, I'm sure that they do.
Hostile immigration policies.
Boy, this is leading right in to the Sunday stream, isn't it? Okay, hostile immigration policies. Define a hostile immigration policy.
Harsh immigration policies, such as forcibly taking children from their parents at the Mexican border, are the result of xenophobia and racism.
No, they're the result of if they cannot identify and verify that the children in their care are actually their children, then for the safety of all parties, they have to be separated until that can be determined. I don't know if you know this, but there is a significant human trafficking situation taking place at the border. And in many cases, it deals with children. Let's talk about children kidnapped from their rightful guardians and taken to the border. How about that? How about somebody saying, yes, this is my child, when the child has no capacity to correct that statement to authorities, especially if you don't have any evidence that this is your child, papers or otherwise. I don't think you know what's actually happening at the border or what the risks are to just a trust me story when strangers show up to your doorstep and tell you a story. Yeah.
The aim of these policies is to deter a specific ethnic group from trying to move to the U.S.
No, it's trying to prevent human trafficking and kidnapping. Also child abuse. I don't know if you know that part either. The laws that are supposed to be enforced are there to deter people from coming into the country illegally. But when it comes to separating children from the adults that are in their custody, or that have custody over them, I should say, there are other things to consider. You're assuming a motivation of hatred when it's pragmatism and safety.
And punish those that try.
Well, yeah, if you come across the border illegally without any papers and a child with you that cannot be identified as yours, then yeah, there might be some punishment coming down.
Other examples of these policies include the Chinese Exclusion Act.
The Chinese Exclusion Act. Oh, okay. What year was the Chinese Exclusion Act? And tell me true, is the Chinese Exclusion Act still in place today?
Policies include the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882.
1882! Oh, Lord. How many times have I heard the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882 or whatever come up in so many immigration presentations, taking totally and absolutely defunct and obsolete laws and pretending as though that they are in place today, that the worst or most ill-advised or most obviously xenophobic laws of the past are now reflective of current reality. Good gravy.
And the Muslim travel ban of 2017.
Oh, the Muslim travel ban. Is that what it was? Golly, well, it's really weird. How is it that Saudi Arabia was still allowed to travel to and from the United States? Huh? How was it that Iraq was on that list, but then was later taken off that list? I mean, I don't think the population of Muslims changed all that much in that time. It was a Muslim travel. Is that what it was? Are you sure about that? I'll pull a little John Cena here. Are you sure about that?
Displacement.
Displacement. Okay.
This is when a more powerful group or institution forces a less powerful group out of their home.
I mean, it could be eminent domain or something. What are you talking about?
An extreme example is the Trail of Tears.
The Trail of Tears. Wasn't this supposed to be about the workplace? Okay, give me an example of the Trail of Tears taking place in modern corporate America. I mean, I'm sure you could probably abstract that into something. But the Trail of Tears,
in which the U.S. government forced Native American people off of their land.
Yeah. And that has what to do with the workplace today?
Genocide.
In the workplace?
Genocide is an attempt to destroy or kill a religious, racial, or ethnic group.
That's fairly accurate. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
An example of genocide is the Holocaust.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. And?
In which the Nazis imprisoned and executed millions of Jews based on a racist and xenophobic ideology.
Sure. And?
I want to give a shout out to Medical News Today.
What? Sure. Why not? Medical News Today?
For helping create the curriculum that we used here to create this video.
Medical News Today helped you make the curriculum for this video, where you talk about workplace xenophobia, and we jump to the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, the Trail of Tears, and the Holocaust. What does that have to do with Medical News Today?
Okay, everyone.
Pregnant pause. Although I shouldn't say it like that. That's probably offensive to people who can't or would get pregnant. I don't know.
You still with me?
No. You lost me at the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. I mean, you probably lost me earlier than that, but that was the biggest bucket of cold water on the whole thing.
You understand what is being explained?
Absolutely not.
If not, watch this video again.
Well, what's the definition of insanity? Anyway, okay. Well, we know that's the closure of that one. Oh, boy. All right. Yeah, Medical News Today. Boy, that must be just one banger of a publication if they start diving into the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. But, okay. There you go. Liesel 7, Medical News Today, going to have to investigate. Yeah, it sounds like a very eclectic publication. Theater Wench Ginger, he's invoking the trail. Apparently so. Apparently so. Like I after the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, I figured we could go anywhere. We could go anywhere. But all right. Well, we have one left. One left, everybody, in this cavalcade of inclusology. I don't know that I'll be coming back to inclusology after this, so get them while they're hot, I suppose. Who do we have left? Oh, here we go. All right, so this one is, pardon me a second, this one is, I don't know what to say. 7 strategies to engage in difficult conversations. You know, my favorite kind of conversations are difficult ones because I see them as a challenge, right? A challenge of stamina, a challenge of emotional tolerance, mental fortitude. I don't know. I could keep going. But all right. So how do we engage? 7 strategies. 7 strategies in 3 minutes. Okay, well. this will be the most efficient videos I've seen. Okay, so are you guys ready? You guys ready? Okay. Difficult conversations. I think the next difficult conversation I'm going to have with myself, as I do almost every week, is why do I do this to myself?
Hey everyone.
Hey, your background noise is terrible.
Welcome back to Inclusologist e-learning platform. My name is Dr. Dominique Burrell-Page.
Dr. Dominique Burrell-Page. Okay, doctor of what?
My pronouns are he, him, and his.
I thought your pronouns would be doctor.
And I identify as a black man.
You identify as a black man. Could I identify as a black man? Do you think I could get away with it? It'd be funny if I could.
Today, I'm going to be facilitating an informational video about 7 questions that you must ask yourself before, after, and during a difficult conversation.
Oh, 7 questions I have to ask myself. The title said strategies. But, okay.
And I'm not here to waste any time. I'm
You're not here to wait. Well, with only 3 minutes and 7 questions, then yeah, I guess
here
so.
to help you, help your company. So let's get to it.
Help my company. Okay, 7 questions you must ask yourself before, after, and during a difficult conversation. Should it be like before, during, and after, not before, after, and during? Because that requires some time travel.
Now here are 7 quick questions you can ask yourself before you engage in a difficult conversation.
Okay, before. Here we go. This is the prelude. This is the preparation. And that's granted that I know I'm about to enter, with some time of, preparation, a difficult conversation.
To let you know whether or not the time is right for you. First is, am I in a safe place?
Am I in a safe place? How so?
Physically, mentally, and emotionally.
Well, if I know I'm about to enter into a difficult conversation, I'm probably not in a safe place mentally and or emotionally. Physically, I don't know, but we're talking about conversing with someone. So if it's like, I know I'm going to go in and I have to tell somebody some bad news, maybe if I'm the one having to deliver the bad news, I'm in the better emotional and mental place. But I guess it depends on the context.
If the answer is yes, proceed.
If the answer is yes, proceed. If I'm in a safe place. Well, if the answer is no, do I just not tell the other person that their loved one has passed away or something?
If the answer is no, walk away.
I have to tell this person some bad news. Do I feel safe in my emotions and my mental state to deliver this bad news with the expectation that they're going to have a negative reaction to it? No, fuck it. I'm walking out.
Number 2. Do I care enough about this topic to engage?
I mean, that is a good point, So, in the case of Robin DiAngelo and having conversations about white fragility, if I was the subject of such a conversation, if I was the target, let's say, if I walk away, I'm actually reinforcing, to her at least, that I possess white fragility. So I guess I kind of lose no matter what I do in that case, huh?
If the answer is yes, proceed.
Okay.
If the answer is no, walk away.
Wow. Okay. Well, I guess if I don't care, then why engage in the first place, right? That should be the first question. Do you care enough about this subject to get into an argument with someone about it? The answer is no, then just don't.
Also ask yourself, why is it that you don't care about the topic?
Shouldn't those be the first 2 questions? If you maybe what if I just don't care about the topic? What? Oh my God. The absence of context here just causes the imagination to go all over the place.
This is the time for you to check for your own individual biases.
Yeah, my own individual biases. Like my reflex is I don't care about this. I don't want to engage in a conversation about it. Do I have to re-examine myself?
Number 3. Do I respect or care enough about the person I am speaking to in order to engage?
It would really help if you give us like an active example, because it could be anything. A difficult conversation could be about literally anything with another person, depending on what the subject matter is. And a difficult conversation for them might be completely easy conversation to me. So,
If the answer is yes, proceed.
Yeah.
If the answer is no, you may want to consider walking away.
I may want to consider walking away. So we start off with a definitive next step, and then the alternate is a ambiguous next step. This is turning out to be not a very good flow chart.
Also ask yourself, why is it that you don't care about this person?
Maybe I don't like them. Maybe I don't know them. Maybe they've been mean to me before. I don't know.
Again, this is the time to check for your own individual biases. Number
Yeah.
4, am I in the right headspace to have this conversation?
I don't know. I mean, that's probably a good one. You know, if I can't be productive in this conversation, if I'm too jittery, if I'm too emotional, if I'm in a completely different sort of mood or something. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe now is not the time to have this conversation. Shouldn't this be earlier in the set again?
If the answer is yes, proceed. If the answer is no, walk away. Remember, if you're intentional about it, in most cases, you can always come back.
I guess it depends on the timeliness the conversation has to take place. You know, get to the chopper is a difficult conversation, but it kind of has to happen right then, you know.
Number 5,
Mhm.
what is the outcome I'm hoping to get out of this conversation?
Okay. I guess this isn't sort of a yes or no situation now, is it?
Is it to listen, to be heard, or to be understood?
How about all three?
If the answer is all of the above, then proceed.
Oh, I see. Okay, well, what if it's a conversation that might be difficult but doesn't require any discussion? Right? Like I'm telling somebody how it is, and there's no really any room to maneuver. So listening isn't really that big on the priority list, is it? Being heard would be. So since I'm not going to listen to any feedback, just not have it? Okay.
If it's not, consider walking away.
Consider walking.
Remember, if you're intentional about it, in most cases, you can always come back.
If you're intentional about it, in most cases, you can always come. I wish you'd give us an example, even if it's just a hypothetical or an anecdotal one, just so I can sort of measure what he's talking about. But oh well.
Number 6.
Number 6.
How will having this conversation impact me and or them?
I don't know. I guess that goes back to what outcome do I want? How will it impact them? Are you psychic?
If you come up with a positive answer, proceed.
Well, what if I come up with an answer that pleases me to make me feel better about having the conversation, but isn't actually what the reality is going to be? I'm just fooling myself. Is that wise?
If you can't find any positive reasons to stay in the conversation, you may want to consider walking away.
Uh-huh.
Remember, if you're intentional about it, in most cases, you can always come back.
Yeah, okay. And what is the 7th and last piece of wisdom for us about difficult conversations?
And finally, number 7.
Yes.
What is impacting how I interpret this person's intentions?
Whoa. What is impacting how I interpret this person's intentions? What? What is impacting how I interpret this person's intentions? I'm reading it as it's written. I don't know. My familiarity with the person, or the nature of their response, or I don't know.
This is strictly a bias check. You can ask yourself this before, after, and during this conversation.
Oh, thanks.
This is what I have. What else do you got?
What do I got? I guess compared to that, I got nothing. I don't know. I mean, again, I'd have to know what kind of conversation are we entering into? Am I delivering bad news, or am I about to receive bad news? What is the nature of the conversation? Anyway, tell me about the platform again.
Does that make sense?
No, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I mean, I guess in the most 30,000 foot abstract view of just interacting with people when it comes to contentious or quote unquote difficult conversations, not courageous conversations, mind you. Glenn Singleton isn't here. Some of it might be applicable, but again, some of it sounds like a bit too second guessing and I don't know.
Hopefully everyone understands the knowledge I'm giving you all today. If not, watch this video again.
Again, what's the definition of insanity? Okay, and then we go into the outro and all that fun stuff, I'm sure. Yeah, okay, well, I tried. I tried to, kneel at the altar of inclusology. Weird name change for diverse city. I thought diverse city was kind of clever. It had these like building patterns in its logo and everything. Diverse city. But inclusology, I mean, first off, it sounds like, Scientology or hubology. For those of you that know what hubology is. So it sounds like a faith-based system of some kind or or leave your reason at the door system. And these videos are condescending, very situational and or gobbledygook logic. Like, workplace xenophobia is the Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. What? Anyway. So, there you go. And these, again, these aren't videos from like 2015 or something. These have all been published within the last, I think, couple of weeks or something. It's on inclusology, formerly Diverse City on YouTube. So this is all brand new information, very useful for corporations, companies, and elsewise who I am guessing pay some kind of nominal fee to have inclusology's e-platform at their business for educational purposes. Somebody is charging for this. I guess that's the headline here. Of everything else that we may or may not have learned from the videos themselves, this is apparently a product that people are expected to, I don't know how many actually are, pay for. Probably just in order to have a check mark on their prospectus somewhere that, yes, we have a active DEI and inclusion program in place at our company to please vendors or financial institutions that might invest in them. Something like that. I'll bet you it's probably cheaper than hiring on a long-term consultant or paying a permanent position of chief diversity officer. That might be the consideration here. Is just say honestly that you have a active inclusion program in your company without having to spend any more of a pretty penny than you have to. Let's see. Take a look what you guys have to say here. And then I think I will attempt to go to sleep. Derek LaRue, LOL at the gender identification of black male. I know. It's like I identify as. I'll have to take his word for it. I'll take his word for it. Miranda Stone would rather be candle making. Okay. Bridget. Thank you for helping me through part of my shift, guys. Well, you're welcome, Bridget. I hope it was, it has some utility, I guess, at the end of the day. Liesel 7, diversity bankroll. It's still, like I said, if I had known better, or I had no particular, personal integrity or values or something, about 5 years ago, I should have hung out a shingle and called myself a DEI expert or a DEI consultant. After absorbing all the garbage that I did in videos and elsewise prior to then, I could have probably swung it. I got to fake my way through it. Once or twice on Twitter, I convinced people I actually was a pro diversity DEI type person or whatever, and responding just with the random rhetoric that I had in my mind after watching so many of these videos as a joke. I really convinced it because it really isn't that difficult. You can sound just like a DEI consultant with just a little practice. And I don't think, at least at that time, they would have asked much more of you in the way of credentials than just saying you were and fulfilling that need in their offerings to clients or financial institutions or otherwise, just to say that, yes, we've engaged the services of a diversity consultant for this, that, and the other, and so on. I could have made a pretty penny. I tell you what. But teach you, Miranda Stone. Teach me. I want to learn. Let's see. What was it? Well, okay. So I come into your company, and the first thing we have to analyze is the balance of power in your executive team. You see, it's very important for the subordinates in this company to be able to see themselves in their leadership. Otherwise, they will lose morale. You will not be able to both obtain or retain the best talent from the talent pool. And in fact, you'll probably be seen as not the employer of choice for certain groups. And so it is incumbent upon you to take a look at your executive team and decide how you want representation to be seen by those on the outside, both investors and prospective employees. And I can help you do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a poll of your workforce, and we're going to find out some specific information about them, and as well as what their perspectives are on diversity in the workplace. What matters to them? What's important to them? What makes them feel comfortable? What they would like to see from leadership? And then we're going to take all that information, aggregate it together, and I'll put it into a full-scale, full-spectrum report that'll show you where your workforce sits, both in technical knowledge, personal background, and their personal goals. And with that information, you can take that, and as you make your future hiring decisions, recruitment decisions, and promotional decisions, especially to your executive board, you can better meet the needs of your workforce and, therefore, by extension, attract the best in the talent pool going forward to ensure the long-term security and prosperity of your company. I mean, I don't know. Does that sound about right? I mean, I bumbled a couple ways here and there, but you know, this is Scribe talking DEI rhetoric at nearly midnight my time after lousy sleep. So that's the best I could do right now. Just imagine if I was well rested and ready to go with a suit on and a pitch already figured out ahead of time. But anyway, everybody, with that, I'm going to call this here. Yes, the Sunday stream will still happen in just 8 hours. Boy, oh boy, I better be awake. Or I'll promise you this. I'll at least be as awake then as I am now. However well a promise that may or may not be. And so before I lose my ability to speak, let me wrap this up. First and foremost, everybody, thank you so much for joining me. Programming note. I don't have it all set yet as far as, recruited guests, but I have the thumbs up, green light, more likely than not going to be there for the next Living on Borrowed Crime. So far, and as soon as I can lock these in for sure, I'll make an official announcement. But so far, tentatively speaking, I have on board Matt Orchard, Dave's Lemonade, Misery Machine, Mr. Black Pasta, and True Red Crime. So that's right now. If that changes or something, I will let you know. I'm not going to make an official posting of it for at least another week or so until I get everything firmed up. And the subject matter will be discussions about the critiques of true crime as a genre. So that's the plan. And that is going to happen Friday, July 26th at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. That's the current plan. So I will get more official once things are official, but that's what it is right now. Elsewise, tomorrow, 8 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Eastern on Sunday for the Sunday stream, it's Border Digest number 11. I actually had 2 different Border Digests. I named number 9 accidentally. So the second of those was actually the 10th one. So now we're on number 11. So there you go. Number 11, where we will find out and update ourselves on what's going on at the border. I'm sure it's all going to be great news. Remember, Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882. Just remember. Also, you can find me here every Thursday for TED Excellence at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Also, if you'd like to, you can join the Discord server. I have a link to the Discord server, which I will now put into the chat box. You can click on that, find yourself on the landing channel called Say Hello. And in addition to saying hello, you just have to say the secret word. The secret word will tell me that you actually watch the show, are not a bot, and have earned the right, the privilege, the entitlement to join the Discord server. And today's secret word is xenophobia. Sure. Just say, hello, xenophobia, and I'll know that you watched the show. Elsewise, everyone, again, thank you for joining me on this Saturday night. Moderators, thank you for keeping an eye on things, even though everyone here is so well behaved. You have very, very little to do. Red Feather 1, you mean 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific? Yes. Did I say 5 Eastern, 8 Pacific or something? 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern, July 26th for the next Living on Borrowed Crime, if I needed to clarify that. Okay. I hope I didn't fumble over that one. Either way, everyone, have a great rest of your night, rest of your weekend ahead of you. For those of you on the West Coast, please, please, please stay cool, because it certainly isn't right now. And elsewhere, everybody in Texas in the face of an oncoming hurricane, please be safe, you and your families otherwise. Elsewise, wise, I hope you're all safe and well. If you're not well, please get well soon, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.